Welcome all to the dreamy spring scene at Matthews, North Carolina, where it's a pair of sides bending the corner in the 2025 season that are at odds this evening. Crown Legacy FC and Atlanta United 2 is what's on the marquee. MLS NEXT Pro live and in color from the Mecklenburg County Sportsplex. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Gallagher. Again, it's a couple sides here in this one today that are really starting to take shape in 2025 for Crown Legacy FC. A pair of victories in a row for the first time since August. Atlanta United 2, 3 games unbeaten, looking for their first outright win in that span. This is supposed to be an Atlanta United 2 home match, and I suppose it is. They are the home side, but on the road today in Crown Legacy FC's home venue, as the field conditions in Kennesaw are unsuitable to support a game here today. This was initially supposed to be played Sunday, in action here for you on a Monday. And for Atlanta United 2, trying to keep the good results flowing. For Steve Cook, it is a 3-4-3, the same formation they played in a 2-2 draw, come-from-behind result against Huntsville City the last time out. Moises Tablante and Ryan Carmichael in a new role off the left-hand side look to make up a partnership that will bolster the attack, with Luke Brennan back in the team for the first time in some time. Sesak behind him, trying to get around him and provide that width. Togashi in the middle. As for Gary Dicker and Crown Legacy FC, this is the 11 for them. And again, back-to-back wins, trying to make it 3 on the skip. It's Subotic and Singh leading the line in what will start as a 4-4-2 and defend in a 4-4-2, but in attack will be something of a 4-2-4. They will measure the width and the length very well, try and play short and then go long, and playing over the top. Aaron John back in the starting 11 today, and Emma Uchebu trying to make good on a good run of form for him in a rich vein. A goal and an assist in his last game. Last time a victory against Inter Miami 2 on this pitch just a week ago. Out to live pictures for you. Kickoff coming. And here we go. The referee today, John Rush, has the ball in hand. Charlotte FC's second side, Crown Legacy FC, ready to go. Their foe today, Atlanta United 2, trying to cash in on what's been a positive patch of play for them. 3 consecutive games without defeats over the course of the 90 minutes, with extra points gained in the penalty shootout in 2 of those 3 games. Looking for the first outright 3 points. And in the words of Steve Cook, he cited previous reference with Burnley in the English Championship in the build-up to this game, saying that in the early part of their season, they weren't necessarily getting wins, they were getting draws with a stout defense, but once they hit form, they never looked back, and were well on their way to putting up one of the best seasons in the history of the English Championship. As everything came to be told at the end of the year, he thinks Atlanta United 2 are in a similar spot in their journey and are very close to finally putting the final pieces of the puzzle in place. As for Crown Legacy FC, so much talent up and down this lineup, with additions in season in the form of Emo Chibu and Andre Subotic, adding a lot of quality in the final third of things. Gary Dicker in his first season coming out of the Brighton system in England, and a similar type of play to what you may have seen with De Gerbi there these last couple of years on the south coast of England. Some call it explosion ball. It'll be compact and then direct as they try and draw the opposition up to engage the ball and play into the space vacated. We are underway here in North Carolina. Atlanta United 2 and Crown Legacy FC at grips once again. As Togashi on the ball, 4 assists for him on the season, already the most in his professional career. 31-year-old playing in his first season outside of Japan. He is in the heart of the attack for Atlanta United 2 today. Mazzaferro, who scored against Huntsville last time out, to Blante. This one for Carmichael, who meets it at the end line. Ryan Carmichael on a spin. He's kept the ball on. It rolls away from Mazzaferro. Dylan Singh, Uchebu, or rather that That was Uchebu, who couldn't pick the lock with his pass. And Mezzafero. Bowling over the top to Blante with the width. A well-weighted pass inside, but it just skids away. Carmichael could arrive. Might expect to see Luke Brennan and Carmichael a little bit more narrow, playing inside that vertical parameter of the 18-yard box with the wide men, namely to Blante, touchline wide. Sesok occupying a similar role. Jaden Hibbert and Mezzafero. Crown Legacy doing a good job of walling off those pivot players and forcing Atlanta to build through the wide spaces early. Sprinting after it. It's Luke Brennan, who rips across into the box off the head of Togashi. Required some defensive intervention. Atlanta United 2 still with the sense. Gordon went. From Morales. Who was twice an unused substitute with the senior team in the previous week. And the 11 today to start things off for Steve Cook at the back. And squarely in the center of that back three, flanked by Ronan Wen and Sal Mezzafero. All three of these players in the defensive bulwark for the home side on the road today. Will have the license to carry the ball into the attack, and doing so now Atlanta United 2. Goalkeeper's up for it. And it's George Marks, who steps into the starting 11, replacing Isaac Walker. Only his second appearance of the year. Atlanta United 2 pressing high. And winning the ball high. Throw incoming. If you're just now joining us and had some curiosity as to the confines of this game, initially was slated to be played in Kennesaw, Georgia. The field deemed unsuitable, so it is an Atlanta United 2 home match, but it's being played at Crown Legacy FC's home ground, the Mecklenburg Sportsplex here in Matthews, North Carolina, as Tablante prepares a throw. Javier Armas. Roped down the line. It's a blasted ball across the box to Blante to settle. Jabbing one into zone 14. And down off the chest of Koulibaly, who's playing right back today. We've seen him more customarily deployed by Koulibaly, this being in the center of the park as more of a holding midfielder. This is tidy work on the ball, composed, directing the move out of their own ends. Crown Legacy, a chop and a charge. Aaron John. Koulibaly. First real attacking adventure for Crown Legacy in the match. Uchebu. Emma Uchebu. A winger that commands the game to his feet. unable to provide the final quality there, but you will hear his name called quite often today, making his 5th appearance for the club after being acquired in season for a pretty sizable transfer fee as well. Mazzaferro. Sun peeking out and bathing the contest. The North Carolina twilight. Mazzaferro, high strides, a higher ball. Falls for Brennan, who gets busy. Gets brought down, it's a clean tackle. Lobbed into the channel, falls for Togashi! And George Marks had to get into action. A strong paw at the near post, puts it out for a corner. Just looks like the center back may have lost the ball in the light. And maybe that ball got out over the end line before the goalkeeper was in contact with it. It's a goal kick. Chebu's gone down in some discomfort. Rose high as Mazzaferro did as well. Hopefully the youngster's all right. Scored his first goal for the club. Chebu did in the last outing against Inter Miami 2. He completed all 7 dribbles he attempted in that game. Is a bright player for certain. He does look like he will at least attempt to carry on. Atlanta United 2 continuing to bring the fight to their opposition though. Sesak on the overlap. Overcooks the cross, it's out for a corner. Early pressure applied to Crown Legacy FC. It's been a bit of a hallmark for Atlanta United 2. They've had some success this year, controlling the first 15 minutes, quarter of an hour or so games. We're down early though, their last time out, 2-0 down. Inside the first 42 minutes, conceding the first and the 20th against Huntsville. We're able to come back from 2 goals down to secure an extra point in the shootout. They would love to not be chasing early today. Within swing. It's a good ball. Nodded back for now. Sesak. A low driver. And chipped up and in. Expertly finished by Togashi. Atlanta ascend to the advantage inside the first 10. A second phase corner. Strikes gold for the road side. The home team on the road. Cayman Togashi grabs the goal. Crown Legacy unable to get all the way clear.
Number 30, Cayman Togashi.
As the ball swiveled into the feet of Armas. A skipping stone and a fabulous finish. Absolutely bewildered the goalkeeper, George Marks, as the ball rainbowed over his head into the back of the net. Atlanta United 2 are flying early. Should be said that Crown Legacy were down early against Inter Miami 2. A rickety exchange at the back there. Legacy excelled to the opposition end. They were able to dig that one out and win 4-2 on the day in their last match. Will be required to show some of that same invention here in this one if they are to salvage anything. A zag to the byline, the cross is blotted out. It's Daniel Moore who was looking to serve. Quilting away, it's dispossessed. Luke Brennan. A V8 engine with all pistons pumping. Carmichael's in behind and got there early. Luke Brennan, who's not played with the second side in recent weeks after a strong performance against Inter Miami 2. Several weeks back in the fold today. And showing exactly why his quality is such a weapon. Speaking of which, Uchebu stings in across. Just about done away with. And the word is goal kick, it seems. Again, that's John Rosh with the whistle in hand in the center. And Riley and Josh Lampkin's the ones running the lines, and Josiah Park works the board as the fourth official. Cayman Togashi, the point of difference, as Atlanta United 2 try to add to their early advantage. Confident piece of distribution from Mazzaferro, always taking a risk to play the ball back across the goal mouth. Hibbert didn't catch that quite right. It's out for a throw. Some of the defensive troubles continue to linger for Crown Legacy despite the offensive punch they've offered in recent weeks. Still in search of that first clean sheet of the year. That said, they have not been beaten, Crown Legacy FC, by multiple goals in their last 9 dating back to last season, and all indications are they're likely to keep it tight here today. They win the ball high. On the prowl, Dylan Singh, wriggling and writhing and uprooted. An arresting tackle at the back, and Atlanta United 2 move out on the break. Navigating's Brennan. Wide of him is Sesak. Sesak, Carmichael couldn't puncture. Opened up a touch too much, and off that left foot reflected it wide. A pair of Inter Miami 2 teammates a year ago, Sesak and Carmichael, were on the same page. Brennan doing a wonderful job of holding the ball, forcing the defender to commit. And Togashi just too flat-footed to wrap himself around the ball once it trickled through the defense. It's just another warning shot. And a catalog starting to build for Atlanta United 2. George Marks. Daniel Moore. He's ripped out. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Emory Healthcare. Attaching himself well is Koulibaly. Back to Marks again. This has been a rip-roaring press from Atlanta United 2. The exact energy that Steve Cook will be excited to see. Uchebu sprinting into space. Mazzaferro hesitant to engage. Waits on the help, and when it arrived, provided the proper strategy to take the ball back and stymie the move ahead. Excellent bit of recovery there from Ryan Carmichael, who ran about 50 yards to get himself up in the mix again. It's a Volante to take. Hibbert finally gets it off his feet. Aaron John, always the conductor, walking his side ahead. Moore. Heavy touch out of the back, and one by Atlanta United 2. Puzzling away to Blante. Foul is awarded. And a stern word for Blai Coulibaly. Of course, Yves Chayap, who's customarily a member of this back line for Crown Legacy, unavailable today. A red card after a pair of yellows. In the Inter-Miami 2 match. Coulibaly deputizing in the back four. A little bit overly aggressive in that tackle. Just a note on Chayap, those were actually the first 2 yellows he saw all season in that game against Inter-Miami 2. Sturdy on the ball. Weaving away to Blante. A loose first touch, he's struggling at the end line, he's trucked. The referee has not looked his way, and it's a goal kick. Goal kick arriving in the custody of Crown Legacy FC, and a sigh of relief. Moises Tablante absorbing a lot of interaction, you might say, in the box from the defender. Maybe bound over a bit easily. It didn't look like he was too perturbed by the call to Blante. Taken up by Daniel Moore. Away by Daniel Moore. Chested down, and all the second balls belonging to Atlanta United 2, but that time gained illegally. And speaking of decisions by the referee, a look back at the penalty shout for Atlanta United 2. With continuing to be a real weapon for Atlanta United 2, and I don't know, that was a pretty stiff collision. Tablante was not posing an immediate threat to goal. Legacy maybe get away with one. It was Tablante who was tangled there as well, this time with Uchebu. The goalkeeper picks it up. You'll see this Crown Legacy side shift the defensive structure based on where the ball is on the field. They press in a 4-4-2, and that proves fruitful here. To the wide side, dragged back across, another upending. Ball's free in the box. Amos is scrambling. Cannons into the feet of Daniel Moore. Shifting through the gears, Crown Legacy FC. Aaron John has lost it. Trying to play in Rocket Retorita. It's a throw for Crown Legacy FC. A flick on into the area. Hibbert's going to have this without contest. Crown Legacy starting to get smart about using the frame of their big man up top, the 6'3" Dylan Singh, imposing himself on the match more and more as time passes. In pursuit of the ball here, Massafero can find spaces at the touchline to Blante. Did about as well as you could ask. Moises Tablante, the team's minutes leader, also with 3 goals this year in his first season in the A. He's found there. Coach Steve Cook certainly praised his quality, absolutely. Wanted to encourage him to be more expressive, be more himself. Feels that that's what's best for the team as he screams out for the ball and gets it here. Cook made sure to highlight Tablante's work rate above all else, though. As he works his side onto the front foot into the attack. Riley, centrally, softening first touch from Almas. Tablante, turning wide again. Carmichael. And Will Riley. Atlanta United 2 setting up camp in the final third. Punch free though, and on the move, the counter blooming for Crown Legacy. A well-shaped ball wide. Rocket Rectorita. A series of step overs. Plowed into the feet of Uchebu. Getting around him is Koulibaly. Aaron John in support. That Pena into the box. Sent goalward. And the sting taken out of it by the block. It was a well-crafted delivery. Koulibaly with time to measure. And just absorbed by that back line of Atlanta United 2 at the critical moment. Didn't really feel like Singh got all of that. Temperature being turned up though on Atlanta United 2 into the box. Taking aim! And scraped wide by Andre Subotic. Subotic unmet as the ball just fell perfectly to him. A gift from the heavens as it arrived at his feet, but he was unable to make good use of the chance. Nothing but a memory now. Pinned in increasingly though, Atlanta United 2. Soaking up a lot of pressure over the last 10 minutes. Cayman Togashi got the first goal, got his side ahead. Tablante doing his best to keep it in. Giving it chase is Togashi. He'll arrive. Cayman Togashi, the shot's blocked, and it just trickles back to the goalkeeper. An excellent effort, though, from Cayman Togashi. Aaron John, who scored in the 91st minute last year against Atlanta United 2. The first meeting last season to secure victory for Crown Legacy. Trying to find his feet in 2025, Aaron John. Did not start the last match. It was the first time that's been the case this year. Ball is out of play for a throw. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Gallagher. Chebu checking in and widening out. Koulibaly cutting one in. And Subotic has left that begging. It's the kind of cross that Crown Legacy have made part of their patented plan. Love to try and access these areas, the space between the 18 and the 6-yard box at the byline, and cut it back in. And the blueprints unfolding with perfection there to open up the chance. Subotic just walking it high. You get the sense, though, that if Atlanta United 2 are to allow for that kind of opportunity, that 0 will not remain on the scoreboard. Faulty giveaway, but atoning well is Will Riley. To Blante. In a crowd of three, Mazzaferro sneaks away from the pressure. Now to Blante, who smashed to the ground by Eric Pena. Blante doing a good job of setting up the defender before cutting out towards the touchline. Wins the whistle. Unable to get out of that first wave of pressure again, Atlanta United 2. It's Uchebu. Still Emma Uchebu. Thought about it for a second. Rita beaten away for the time being. Serves in a cross that skews straight into the grateful grasp of goalkeeper Jaden Hibbert. Hibbert, the hero in the shootout against Huntsville, saved the effort of Christian Kofi on the first try from the spot, and that proved to be the difference necessary as Luke Brennan is chopped out. And then United 2 would go on to sink all 5 of their spot kicks. Secure victory on the day with the extra point in hands. Mazzaferro, plenty of pasture to press on into. To Blante. And slipping away from Carmichael. Away by Marks. Bit of a haphazard header. Uchebu has it now. Tilting in field. Emma Uchebu still swerving. Uchebu swung away for now. Aaron John working wide. Koulibaly stung straight at the goalkeeper. It set up nicely for Mike Koulibaly, who's still trying to find his first goal for Crown Legacy this year. In the right position to react was Jaden Hibbert. Only had 2 clean sheets all of last year, did Hibbert, in 23 appearances. Already 1 on this season. And stops like that, he may have a chance for another today. Closer and closer, though, Crown Legacy FC. Half an hour gone. In for Carmichael. Off of Togashi. He's been a magnet for the ball so far, Togashi. Just had a way of finding him inside the area, as it did for the only separation between the sides. Togashi's flick on goal to make it 1-0. Mazzaferro and Efren Morales. Brennan pushing one in. It's going to fall for Tablante. Working around at the top of the box, Tablante. It struck the woodwork, and the goalkeeper has touched it wide. It's a corner coming. Tablante having a lot of success just sneaking into the blind spot behind Koulibaly. And maybe it touched Koulibaly on its way into contact with the posts. Yielding the corner kick that's taken shortly. Atlanta scored on their first of the game. Armas through the crowd. United 2 getting their shape back. In chorus, those center backs retreating into their own ends. Atlanta United 2 flying in formation. They've been quite useful on the ball. They have had it. It's been a scarce resource ever since going ahead. Slips away from Carmichael. Koulibaly. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Adidas. Swung back by Atlanta United to Togashi. Back to goal. Mazzaferro. Sesak. See if that change sticks for Atlanta United 2. It seems Devontae and Sesak have traded flanks. Lobbed in. Stays in the confines of the four lines, and a foul is awarded. It was Dylan Singh that got trucked over. This is a dangerous free kick. Crown Legacy have plenty of big bodies to aim at. What Aaron John is capable of from a dead ball. Well, United 2 might have thought for a second they were going to get away with that. The referee was always eagle-eyed. Ball in. Hibbert late to arrive to it. The goal mouth is empty as it's headed off the line, and Hibbert is going to be awarded the foul as he was contacted going for the ball. Almost looked a bit of friendly fire. Hibbert hesitated for a second before deciding to rush out and try and intervene. I think that's the exact argument that Dylan Singh is making. This could prove costly. It's John around the keeper. Aaron John. Aaron John for the first time in 2025. Twists and sticks. Just a bit casual. Building from the back for Atlanta United 2, off the toes of Armas, into the caress, the grasp of Aaron John, who flashes home after getting the best of the goalkeeper, and a smile for the cameras.
Goal scored in the 35th minute.
Level again, 35 minutes in. It's one apiece. It was never going to be so simple. Atlanta United 2 took the lead, but took their foot off the gas. Subsequently, invited their opposition onto them and have paid that price. They will be looking themselves up and down after the giveaway. What kind of response does Atlanta United 2 have to offer in the next 10 minutes? To keep their composure, not to go down just ahead of halftime.
Has also been issued to Crown Legacy FC's number 48, Aaron John, in the 35th minute.
Aaron John was shown a yellow card for lifting his jersey there after scoring the goal and celebrating. Just a clerical note, and if that becomes something more, he will regret that decision. For now, though, cloud nine. Daniel Moore dancing and diving, infield, Subotic. John just scored one. This time defers to Koulibaly. Uchebu spinning by Tablante. Still Uchebu! A player that will lift you straight from your seats. The snap of a serpent. Slashing by both Carmichael and Tablante. The goalkeeper at his mercy. Feels probably noteworthy to again underscore this is a player in Uchebu who completed all 7 dribbles he attempted. The last match against Inter Miami 2, the player would be fortunate to come away with maybe 3 completed in a game. Boots that sparkle for the young Nigerian. Ever still, it's Atlanta United 2, grabbing back hold. Desperate to settle the heartbeat a little bit. Spotting the wide man. Into the box from Sesak. Scrambled away by John. Some cries for handball. Will Riley. Plowed wide again for Sesak, who arrives. Riley and Sesak again. Sesak speeding to the end line. Lobbed up for Tablante and off the chest of Koulibaly. He has the ball returned to him and rumbles into the attack. Atlanta United 2 a little bit out of sorts. Uchebu now. Masafero back in front. And prodded away for a corner. A little bit more direct today for Crown Legacy FC. Not as much of the patient build-up they have offered in the early stages of the season, trying to become a much more ball-dominant side. Play with possession under Gary Dicker. A chance to go ahead with an out-swinging corner from Aaron John. Everybody inside the 6, tucking in. It will be claustrophobic for Jaden Hibbert. Body has hit the floor. Belongs to Andre Subotic, and it's just a stern talking to from John Rush. Looks like it may have been Masafero who was elsewise involved. And again, a new rule in MLS NEXT Pro this year, only the captains, unless elsewise invited, allowed to directly discuss anything with the official. A long belated corner without swing. Hooked away. Koulibaly picking up the pieces. Uchebu. George Marks. Crown Legacy FC taking their time to re-secure their structure. Now Koulibaly. What a wonderful ball into the box! It's 2-1! But the flag is up. It stayed down forever as the ball hung high, and Dylan Singh ramped up in behind, but he is just a step ahead of the last man. What a fabulous ball from Bai Coulibaly. Left to the echoes of history now. Maybe a highlight reel at some point. I'll tell you this, Bai Coulibaly has taken like a duck to water in that fullback position today. He's played the full 90 in the last 3 matches after not doing so at all in the first 4. Coulibaly has. Again, typically stationed in the base of midfield, the center of the park. Applying his trade in defense now, and he's done by Tablante. Waiting for it in the center's Brennan. Sloping into the box and out for a corner kick. It was Daniel Moore with the cover. And Crown Legacy, 3 minutes from the end of regular time in the first half. The roadside in their home venue. Dig the trenches and prepare for this corner. Short by Tablante. Sesak looking for a better angle. Return to Tablante. Javier Armas. On to plan B for Atlanta United 2 on this corner kick. Whacked in. Settled by Morales. Atlanta United 2 could be cut out. Stepping in and saving the day is Will Riley, and maybe doing something more than that. Flushed wide by Armas. And a shot across the bow as Togashi was a step behind it the whole way. At least for now, it appears Crown Legacy have weathered that small storm. Togashi sliding in after it. Away by Coulibaly. Tamed by Mazzaferro. Worked out well and fizzed in. It was Ryan Carmichael who let loose from range. And back the other way. Singh. Swapping wide to Chebu. Brennan. Contested by Moore. A little tug of the jersey. Foul awarded. Waiting on the board to go up. Tablante. He's been good for 3 goals on the campaign so far, but forced to turn back here. On the twist. Almost wide. Sesak. And now centrally, Morales. Limiting the space between the lines, Crown Legacy FC. It's only going to be the single minute. Trying to make use, Atlanta United 2, entering into the final third. Togashi lying in wait and never gets there. And reaching out is Aaron John. Jack Neely. Uchebu. Coulibaly. Wyatt Holtz. Crown Legacy seem content to just sit on the ball and take the air out of the rest of this 46 minutes of a first half. One feels fair. Both sides fashion chances. level at the curtain fall on the first frame. It's 1-1.
Crown Legacy.
Again, that is our score here at the half. The first half highlights. A look at our upcoming schedule are later, but first, April Marie Aguilar made her way to the land of 1,000 lakes to visit Minnesota United SC2. She sat down with head coach Jeremy Hall in this week's Coach's Corner.
Welcome to this episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Marie Aguilar. Joining me today is Jeremy Hall, head coach of Minnesota United FC2. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. You've been with the club since its inaugural season in 2022. What does it feel like to you to have been with this organization since its inception?
Yeah, I've been very blessed, to be honest. I've gotten to work with some really good coaches here. I've learned a lot, and then to be able to step into a role as a head coach, I think just from a personal standpoint, I'm still learning and finding myself, and really grateful for the club to give me such a big role at the club. And so I'm really excited to be here, going on year 4, and just looking to continue the success that we've had so far.
And what ultimately inspired you to even want to become a coach?
Ooh, that's a good question. Just from playing, I've had some really good coaches, some really bad coaches, and I always just felt like, I just want to be able to mentor and be around the guys. You can only play for so long. I still feel like being on the field is the next best thing, and so being able to share some of those experiences, positive and negative, that I've learned, through other coaches, and just being involved in the game, I just felt like I would love to give back. And so I love my time on the field. I love being able to build relationships with the players. I love to help them get to where they ultimately want to be, and play at a high level. And so be able to help share those experiences and be on the field, it's been awesome.
And you mentioned having played professionally, and you did 8 seasons in Major League Soccer. Given your experience as a player, aside from mentoring, what else do you find yourself now implementing into your coaching career?
Just really being myself and just being real. A lot of coaches want to talk tactics, and I think that's a big part of the game, but for me, I talk more behaviors and being aggressive and playing with intensity, and for me, hating to lose. And so if you can show up every day and try and get better, I think at the end of the day, you give yourself a better chance to be successful, because at this level that we're at, there's a lot of good players, and for me, it's how do you separate yourself. And so I believe just like working hard, winning your individual duels. I like to say just like being a dog on the field. I think that can, really get you into that next level.
And how do you feel like that gives you an advantage, even having been a player, to just become more or build stronger relationships with your players?
Well, I think the relationship piece is soccer aside. It's getting to know these kids and their families, and how they're doing in school, and what are they doing on the weekends away from away from the field. And so I feel like whether they're playing, whether they're not, whether in a good moment, whether in a bad moment, in the second team space, we have guys coming down, so everybody's headspace is totally different. And so for me, it's just trying to be, I guess, a friend, first and foremost, just somebody that they can confide in. And then when they're on the field, when those relationships are built, I can really push them and try and demand all the other stuff out of them. And so for me, I really pride myself on that.
Lob ball up ahead, tripped over the keeper. Oh, how about that? The ball ends up with Chandler. He controls inside the box, flips it back in, and another goal for Minnesota.
And now going into year 2 as a leader of this team, how do you personally feel like you've grown, not just as an individual, but as a coach just within this year?
Yeah, well, you have the final say in a lot of things like that, right? And so when you're building out a training week, a training month, the details that go into the training session, when you're traveling, what flight do you want to get on, all these different things, everything comes to you. And so really being organized, really being just open, right? Like our assistant coach have a lot of say in that, right? Like I don't like to take everything and just giving them the platform to, you know, be able to coach and lead like that. And so making everything super collaborative, you know, I can step back at times and kind of put myself in when I need to, but sharing the space with the other coaches and the players has made me just be me.
And I admire that about you, is as soon as we told you that you were named Coach of the Month, you right away were like, it's not just me, you know, it is a team and a collaborative effort. Ultimately for the team, what would you consider a successful season?
That's a hard one in our space. For me, I always believe that winning is a part of development. And so I think with anything, if you're going into a season, I think everybody says we want to make the playoffs, we want to win the championship. I think when you look at it like that from perspective, yeah, that's great. In our space and development, we want to help these guys get into the first team. And so when I see some of the guys like, you know, Alex Smear play with the first team or Loic play with the first team, you know, some of the first team guys that are returned to play, DJ Taylor getting in and Sam Shishoa, when these guys come into our space, it makes me feel good because, you know, they're getting fitter, they're getting stronger, they're getting more confident, and, you know, hopefully we can continue to see more guys from the second team get into the first team.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys this season, Coach. And we can't wait to see what else is in store for you all.
Thank you so much.
But in the meantime, y'all, this is it for this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in to our next episode to see who I'll be talking to with next. We'll catch you guys next time. For now, I'm April Marie Aguilar. Bye.
I know I'm really attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Great piece there from Anne-Marie Aguilar, getting to know one of the bright young coaches in MLS Next Pro in Jeremy Hall. We've got upcoming schedules in the oven as well as highlights coming to you here in a moment. But now, Anne-Marie continues her visit to Minnesota. She had a chance to sit down and meet 22-year-old forward Logan Dorsey in this week's Player Profile.
Thank you again for joining me on this episode of Player Profile. I'm April Marie Aguilar, and today joining me is Logan Dorsey of Minnesota United FC2. Thanks so much for the time, Logan.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Well, just this December, you were selected by Minnesota United in the Super Draft. Then you signed with the team in March.
Yep.
Then in just your second game, you scored your first goal, followed by a brace in the next. Describe to me what these last couple of months have been like for you.
Yeah, no, it's been quite a whirlwind, no doubt. I mean, you know, coming in, getting drafted, you know, an unbelievable feeling, and you get a call saying, hey, you have 2 weeks to come and prove yourself, and it's like, great, like, let's do it. And no, so it was great, you know, to get experience with the first team and to kind of get in that environment and see what it's like, and then, you know, an unbelievable feeling to sign a second team contract and you know, kind of get that going and get that process going is awesome. And you know, coming in and scoring a few goals is great. You know, I'm glad to be able to help the team. So it's been fun, an experience for sure.
And what would a successful season look like for you?
For me, a successful season is, you know, our goal as a team is to win it all. You know, we want to win the league, and I strongly believe that we have the ability to do that with the players that we have and the talent we have, you know, coming up and down from the first team, you know, all the switches. Like, I feel like we've embraced that really well as a group early on in the season, and I think we're going to continue to do that.
Now I want to talk a little bit about your brother because he plays for Houston Dynamo. What was the competitive nature like between the two of you growing up?
That's a good question. You know, I think the competitive nature when we were kids was always wanting to beat each other. I think that blossomed into a really great relationship that I have with him now. More of a support role than a competitive role, but you know, of course, as kids, like you want to be better, you want to beat him, and you know, I think that helped propel both of us into, you know, taking the next step in our careers. So I think it was a positive, but now that it's blossomed into a good, comforting relationship, I think it's great.
And his journey, I mean, how has that influenced your own approach to the game?
Yeah, it's, you know, he's given me a lot of support throughout my career. You know, I've obviously, as every career does, like you have a lot of struggles and you have a lot of things and going on. And I think that his help to me has been, like, without words, it's been probably the greatest thing in my career so far. Like having someone like him that's been through it all, that's been through what I'm going through is unbelievable. So having that support system is great. And I can't thank him enough for that.
And you mentioned struggles. How have those struggles actually led you to where you are now?
Yeah, I think, you know, I would say the biggest thing for an aspiring pro athlete is being able to deal with struggle. And, you know, dealing with struggle is hard for a lot of people and it's hard for everybody. So being able to deal with that and kind of take positives and little things away from everything that you're doing, even when you're in one of those slumps, is like, I think that's the greatest thing you can do as an athlete.
And is there a specific moment or perhaps piece of advice that Griffin has provided you that's had a significant impact on you?
I would say the biggest thing that he's done for me is kind of just been there. He's been there, you know, through the successes and saying, hey, like, you know, maybe you don't need to get so high on this, or, you know, when you're in a low, like, hey, you know, you're good, like you're right where you need to be. Like, I think kind of just being there constantly throughout the entire process has been great. Like kind of keeping me balanced is one thing that he does really well, which I really appreciate.
And you're certainly lucky because you do have a brother who's a professional.
Yeah.
But with that being said, how important is it to just have that support system?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's everything. I struggle with it because I think everybody needs it, and I'm so grateful that I have it, but not everybody has it, you know? So I think, you know, it's a great advantage for me, and maybe being able to pass on some of the information that he gives to me to other players that are struggling within our team and, you know, close friends, I think is great to be able to do.
I love that. Well, best of luck to you and your team, Logan.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Player Profile. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be talking to. For now, I'm April Marie. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Action.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Great stuff from April Marie, getting us a little bit more familiar with Minnesota United to the Baby Loons. As for the first half here in North Carolina, it's 1-1 at the break between Atlanta United 2 and Crown Legacy FC. Atlanta United 2 were first to pounce, scoring early. Seeing it here, the second phase of a corner kick oftentimes can be even more dangerous for defense. And it would be Sesak orchestrating to Armas, who swung a ball in, and that's just a clever finish, well crafted from Cayman Togashi. Met it with the outside of his boot and just stabbed it up and over the goalkeeper to make it 1-0, and more chances abound for Atlanta United 2. Later on in the half, it would be Will Riley playing one into Moises Tablante. His cross would clip off the woodwork and out for a corner, and it would be a self-inflicted wound for Atlanta United 2 that would choke away the lead. Aaron John stabbing in, sliding by the goalkeeper, and slashing home a pristine finish. And making sure everybody in the facility knew what he had to say. It was 1-1 at that point. Crown Legacy FC would continue to search for more. This was such a well-sculpted ball, not at home by Dylan Singh, but unfortunately for Crown Legacy, the flag was up for offside, and that would round out the meaningful moments of that first half. The upcoming schedule from in and around MLS Next Pro looks a little something like this. Plenty of games at this point of the year. It's a full slate on Friday. Chicago Fire FC2, New York City FC2 get things popping under the sun at 4 p.m. And all the way down that slate, you see high caliber play. Timbers 2 trying to continue their good momentum. St. Louis City 2 have been one of the best teams in the league so far this year, trying to stay stable in that one. Austin FC2 and the aforementioned Minnesota United FC2 square off to bring up the rear guard of that part of the schedule. Philadelphia Union 2 have been an excellent watch so far this year. They'll see Inter Miami 2 later on Sunday. As for the here and now, looking for that critical points of separation between two teams familiar. Crown Legacy FC and Atlanta United 2, both sides coming into this match on good runs of form, unbeaten in the last three. Atlanta United 2 having not secured all 3 points in any of those games, but winning the shootout in 2 of those 3. And for Crown Legacy, having won their last 2 games, heading into this one, their first 2 victories of the young campaign. Neither side will forfeit the rope. They will pull hard to strain to the finish line.
Leaving the match, number 39, Jack Neely. Entering the match,
Jack Neely has been taken out of the game. The team's captain, as well as the man who scored 2 goals last game to help get Crown Legacy to victory. He's come off. And it appears Asane Odrago will step in for Neely. His first appearance of the year, and it comes in a big spot. Defender filling some sizable shoes. See how aggressively Atlanta United 2 choose to press him once they've acclimated to the fact that Neely is no longer in the game. It's an understudy who's taking up his spot in the back 4. Once more, Peyton Gallagher here to take you through all the color of the contest. It was a good first half that captured plenty of attention. It's Crown Legacy who grab the control straight away. Atlanta United 2 quickly mobilized to get the lead inside the first 15 minutes, and then the next 30 are more so commanded by Crown Legacy. And it looks like they're defensively setting up in more of a 4-3-3 now after starting in a 4-4-2 pressing structure. Likely to help them counter the 3 center backs of Atlanta United 2. Go man for man across that back line. Make it so that there's no easy outlet in build-up. That structure allows for moments like this. You press the ball wide and set traps in those wide spaces. Crown winning the ball in a useful area. A pirouette from Daniel Moore, who did score in the last game. The guy who scored in this game, Aaron John, able to pave through his pass, but Legacy hold on. Stepped away, pushed wide again. It appears Emma Ochebu has switched out the boots. Had bright green in the first half, now fluorescent pink. Steady first touch from Daniel Moore. Koulibaly. Over the top. Unable to tune that pass was Odrago. Off the shins of Carmichael. Time to turn. In by Tablante. Koulibaly in a bit of a bind. Odrago. Marks. Togashi up amongst it. A stiff and sturdy run from Aaron John. It's Uchebu. Goal in sight into the center. Held up by Singh. And able to recover in time to deflect it away. It was Ronan Wan. Initially lost his balance at the feigned shot attempt from Singh. Big size advantage there for the striker. Win not giving an inch. And it's a corner. Blotted out of the near post. Throw-in belongs to Crown Legacy. Is there a twist in the tail in the early stages of this first half? It appears Crown Legacy the side with the pen in hand, at least to start things out. John, who's got the armband now, taking it off. Recently departed Jack Neely. Settled by Will Riley. Oh, what a ball off the head of Togashi, though. Wrapping himself around it is Luke Brennan. And beaten away. A recovery bit of defending from Bai Koulibaly to take it out for a corner. A foxy counterattack that wins a set piece for Atlanta United 2. Looks like the chance might be elusive there as the ball found the head of Togashi instead of his path. Brennan able to latch on and fashion a shot on target. And now it's a corner. And it's a short one. Shuttled in and moved away to Blante. A frail re-entry of the ball. And overly strong on the distribution was George Marks. Legacy struggled with chance generation in general this year. Only 71 shots on the season. And is in the bottom 2 in MLS Next Pro. Did have a season high 8 shots on target in the previous game against Inter Miami 2. They've been clinical when they have had the chances, but nothing too meaningful today beyond the one that they gained from winning the ball basically with no defenders left to intervene. Taken out of the reach of Togashi. Odrago. Wyatt Holtz. A pristine passer of the ball. Wyatt Holt, now he defers for his upfield teammates. Uchebu. That's clever. It's clipped away. It's a corner. There are some players that dribble the ball and others that use the ball. Almost wield it. Chebu is one of those. Saw the momentum of the oncoming pass and let it just kind of wash over him, so he could gain pace coming up the flank. And it's taken shortly to Chebu. To Blante. Wins that war of will. A second ball in. Singh slings it wide. Just glanced off his forehead. It was such a nice tackle from Tablante. The second ball fell kindly, though, for Crown Legacy. Singh couldn't make good from close range. Hibbert. Ronan Wen. This is pretty passing from Atlanta United too. Armas. Creams a switch of play to Blante. Returns it back to the near side. And it takes too heavy a hop to be handled by Luke Brennan. Moore, a pass to no one in particular, but bailed out by a deep dropping Andre Subotic. Koulibaly exploring the space on the far side. Uchebu. John and Koulibaly. Infield for Subotic. Downfield. Uchebu! All the way across the goal mouth. A glancing blow. Uchebu finding the soft spot. Subotic with a nifty flick. And Uchebu cannot believe he did not do better there. I think he was going for goal. Nobody camping out of the back post that could have tapped it in. Moore. Pena. Gabriel Wisse is being given the final preparations and check lights for Atlanta United 2. Very bright young player that's scored twice in the last 3 games. 17-year-old. Bammed away by Hibbert and straight into the path of Brennan. This is Luke Brennan circling, cycling. Riley and Armas. Room to hatch a plan. Sesak. Just a bit too much hesitation, making up the mind in that final action for Atlanta United 2. Taking it in tow. Tablante, Carmichael, Tablante again. A melodic side-to-side rhythm for Atlanta United 2. Sesak split the wickets of Daniel Moore, who stood his ground, and he's entitled to do so. Retirita sliding in to intervene was Ronan Wen. He's grabbed possession back. Brennan. Massafero and Tablante. All this touchline to touchline work paying off. Tablante with room. A touch too much, cutting in. Tablante, a player that loves to do that. Shuffle in onto his inside foot. Hasn't had as much room as a wingback today. But here's Brennan. In for Togashi. Off his head once more. Swinging wildly at it as Koulibaly takes it in custody and crashes it out of play for a throw and a chance to make that change. So there's Gabriel Wiese, and Carmichael will come off, and it will be interesting to see which flank Wiese is put onto. We've seen Steve Cook interchange the wingers throughout the game. Wingbacks as well. Wiese, a right-sided player by nature. Wiese scored an absolute screamer against Huntsville to help Atlanta back to even terms. Into the box, away by Wyatt Holtz, and Koulibaly squirming between tackles. A yellow card to Brennan.
A yellow card has been issued to Atlanta United.
Caution there for Luke Brennan, who joins Aaron John in the book. John was given the colors for celebrating his goal in the first half. That's the first bit of conflict that's gotten the name taken. Scraping the sky as the ball enters the box. Down by Subotic. Uchebu. Easy meet for Jaden Hibbert. Sesak. Turning away is Will Riley, who spent some time up in the senior team picture. Making his 5th appearance of the year today. To Blante. Ronan went. Wise's first touches. A player of sublime potential in the wing. Gets back in the mix and tries to swing back possession for his side. And then United 2 do eventually win it. Wise playing infield as Armas turns away from him. Wide by Wen. Sesak, Wise combining. Asserting much more of a grip now. Atlanta United 2. This portion of the match is sponsored by Emory Healthcare. Wise dug out from underneath his feet. Great tackle from Daniel Moore. And Sesak caught too much of the man and none of the ball. It was Pena slamming on the brakes and drawing the contact. And for those uninitiated, if this game does reach its conclusion without a clear decided winner, it will be on to penalties. A place that Atlanta United 2 have found themselves in each of the last 3 games. It's a long run out of the back from Odrago. Somehow has been able to hang on. That's the first real involvement for him since coming on at halftime. First minutes of the season here in this game. George Marks, Odrago. A little bit more ease on the ball this time around. Over the top from Wyatt Holtz. Arcing into the path of an effervescent Uchebu. Nothing more than a moment of pause to see what kind of quality he might provide, and Uchebu's down. Kind of just flailed at the ball midair. You'd imagine he didn't have much chance to brace himself before making contact with the ground. Quickly scrambling into action, the Crown Legacy bench. Nopo Chebu's all right. He's certainly been the most creative force on the field today for Crown Legacy FC. That first touch just kind of ate him up a bit, and then he landed harshly on his lower body. Physio's on and making sure everything is where it should be. Back up against his backside now. Uchebu, Crown Legacy, pressing on, trying to get their third consecutive victory. We're trailing early in this game. Aaron John had something to say about that. Unable to preserve a clean sheet on the day as Uchebu is back to his feet, and Charlotte are prepared to make a change. And it's with a wobble that Uchebu exits. Despite only 4 games played this year, that man is the team's leader coming into today in shots. He is a fine fabricator. But they will have to come on and try and do this without him. It's going to be Brian Romero coming into the game, joined by Barzi Blama. Romero is plenty experienced as well. This will be his 8th appearance of the year, a traditional starter for this team. Has made 6 of them with 1 goal on the season as well.
A double substitution for
Blama coming in for his 4th cameo of the season, all off the bench.
Coming off the bench, number 92, Rocket Rita Rita.
It's Rita Rita who also makes way. So 2 new wingers for Gary Dicker as he tries to freshen up his squad and change the conditions enough to get his side a goal ahead.
Number 32, Barzi Blama.
That is 3 total changes now made by Crown Legacy FC in only 1 moment. This substitution of Jack Neely took place at halftime. That does not count against the total. So 2 more individual chances to make a sub for Crown Legacy FC. And on a bit of a run is the substitution of Drago. Dragging it wide, Daniel Moore. Moore betwixt 2 defenders. Connecting well. Getting away from Weesay, but not without contact. And a foul is given, a yellow card. Gabriel Weesay goes in the book. How about that run from Odrago to spark the whole thing up? Fresh into the game, it's Brian Romero who links in the underlapping run of Daniel Moore, who's shown some attacking threat today, continuing his good form in the final third from a game ago. Aaron John sharpening the blade. It's a free kick coming. On high alert, Atlanta United 2. Big Dylan Singh is mulling around at the back posts, starting from an offside position. Here it comes. In! Crown Legacy FC take their seat atop the contest. It's Subotic. The warm embrace, a goal to the good. Andre Subotic for the 2nd time this year. He will take credit. Aaron John just planting one into prime real estate. And it's jubilation for the side in white. A goal and an assist on the day from Aaron John, and Subotic adds 1 to his account. And after taking the lead, Atlanta United 2 have to climb the ladder back into the game from a goal down.
Goal scored in the 67th minute, number 60, Andre Subotic.
You know, I'm not so sure that Barzi Blama did not actually get the header, but the way Subotic wheeled away in celebration, he was always going to be able to claim the goal. Might be worth another look at some point down the line, but play continues for now. Onto it as we say. Oh, that is cheeky. Sublime skill. We say into the center off the head of Togashi. And scrambling away from a freshly substituted Rodrigo Neri. It's actually Brennan who put a head to it.
A double substitution for Atlanta.
Neri is going to replace Togashi.
Leaving the match.
Also coming in is Dominic
Moises
Chong-Kui.
Marquez. Entering the match, number 50, Dominic Chong-Kui. Also leaving the match, number
Really
30, Kevin
highly regarded
Togashi.
prospect Chong-Kui.
And entering the match, number
Already 2 appearances
Rodrigo
with the Man
Manny
United senior
Gonzalez.
group at 17 years of age. Marietta, Georgia native. A wingback, fullback type by trade. He'll be likely on the left for the foreseeable future. See if that signals a change of shape at all for Steve Cook. Rodrigo Neri into the game, leading the line as the 9. Daniel Moore dancing away. Just on Neri, had a birthday this week, turned 20. His mother in town, able to celebrate with him for a little bit. Neri told us in the build-up to this game, got the chance to show his mom around town, show him the spots in his lifestyle. Also got some of her famous arepas. I'm sure that is filling his belly as he's hungry for goals as his side is down 1 into these final 20 minutes. Stuck away from Brennan, who seems to have transplanted into a more central position now. Aaron John held up by Singh. In the groove for Brian Romero. Still Romero. Neri picking up the pieces, and we say a check of the rearview mirror before jetting away. Somehow split every line and found the feet of the goalkeeper at an odd angle. Nonetheless, it's owned by Crown Legacy. Game of duck, duck, goose from Eric Pena before playing wide. Odrago. Wyatt Holtz. "20 minutes from the finish line. Crown Legacy FC playing a game of keep away. Into the path of Daniel Moore, who stretches for his first touch and strikes out. Cross coming. It's cut out by the goalkeeper, Jaden Hibbert. Crown Legacy toward the top of the league in that crossing department. Top 5 in crosses per game. Also top of the league in terms of corners per match, and that rivalry might be indicated by their preference to get to the byline, apply that pressure before cutting the ball back in. It is a big part of the DNA as they want to foul high. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Gallagher. Sloping in over the top, a pass with arc. And a clashing tackle. Is immediately signaling towards the bench. It looks like one of the Crown Legacy FC players to maybe grab a substitution. There's a player in some discomfort down there. This does not look great. In the meantime, Cooper Sanchez is waiting on his opportunity to come in, and here's what happens. Just a full steam collision.
Substitution in the 73rd
I think that might be
minute.
Barzi Blama. The referee was also immediately signaling to bring the physios on.
48, Cooper Sanchez.
And there's confirmation that Cooper Sanchez has come on, as there is concern on the faces of everybody in the facility. For again, we believe this is Barzy Blama. There is a yellow card out, and add insult to injury, it looks like the referee is waiting to show this to Blama. Blama had just come into the game. It looks like he may have to come out. And Adrian Mendoza is the one that looks like he will be summoned to replace him. Not more than 5 minutes or so after coming into the game, Blama is going to have to make way. And again, this is just a concerning picture. Blama seems to be, at least by his facial expression, a little bit less than super concerned, but the referee is going to hold things up, and I think they might bring some extra attention on for him. Barzy Blama back to his backside, and here's again what happened. So ball in over the top, effort Morales in full sprint to get there. And Blama just stuck a leg out and absorbed that collision at full pace. And the stretcher is out. So Barzy Blama will receive extra attention and be taken off in a stretcher to much applause, and you hope he's all right. This is quite a fright here.
A yellow card has been issued to Crown Legacy FC in the 75th minute.
Thoughts with Barzy Blama and
Barzy Blama.
His family
for Crown Legacy
tonight.
As well, leaving the match, number 32,
Blama.
Barzy Blama. And
it's nothing but a scare.
Number 89, Adrian Mendoza.
Adrian Mendoza will step into the game to replace him. See if that shakes up the contest at all. A long pause, and always tough to see players try and react to seeing one of their own go down with what appears to be a somewhat significant injury. Mendoza whacks one into the sky. Turning away. Turning downfield towards the oncoming Mendoza. It's a throw-in arriving. Shove in the back. Should be a free kick. Crown Legacy, a chance to maybe put it out of reach for Atlanta United. 2 here in the 78th minute. It's high for Hibbert. It's claimed by Hibbert. A heavy first touch. It will roll away over the far touch line. First to foul, it was Koulibaly who was cut down. Legacy have made it a habit beating this Atlanta United 2 side down the years. All time with a record of 4-1-1. They also won the shootout, a lone one between the two teams. That was the most recent meeting. Atlanta United 2 looked like they were maybe trying to change their destiny here early on after going ahead by way of Cayman Togashi. Only a couple minutes into the game, Crown Legacy FC have found a way back in and have done more than that. We say drop to the pitch and a foul is given. And a stern stare from the center official directed towards Brian Romero. Back underway. Mesafero. Chung Kui. Swapped to the near side. Sesak off the chest. We say never gets to him. You'd imagine that this will be the posture, though, for the rest of the game. Atlanta United 2 on the front foot. They're the ones that are playing the role of chaser. Sesak, we say with wheels. We say over elongated that second touch. It scrambles away for a goal kick. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Adidas. Morales, a strong header to take up possession for Atlanta United 2. Fights off one tackle, fights off two. Flowing wide for Brennan. Other than that, maybe Chung Kui. Who appears to have shaved his head. Chung Kui. Usually a full head of hair for him. Much more aerodynamic look this. I'm sure it's a little bit more breathable as well in the southern summer heat. Sesak, we say. Neri falling away, gets it to Omas. Someone else who shaved his head is Steve Cook. Gone for the full bald look. He said this week to us that nobody really noticed of his players. We say, widen for Sesak. It was a perfectly crafted pass, but intervening was the goalkeeper, George Marks, who receives full marks as his side, by his virtue, stay a goal ahead, and Subotic is down. We say, carving away Sesak, a perfectly measured ball. It's just a cat-like reaction to keep it out. Subotic was sent ducking for cover as the Atlanta United 2 player went up and over trying to win the ball. It's his goal that stands the game winner right now. Crown Legacy have weathered every advance from Atlanta United 2. They will have to hold on to the ledge for the next 10 minutes and whatever stoppage time there is to offer. You can imagine after the injury to Barzi Blama, there might be a decent portion coming on the backside of the 90. Andre Subotic is back up and ready to continue. Escorted to the touchline, receive some further examination. More stabbing in to win it off, we say. Another player is down. This time it looks like it's Pena. There's some pushing and shoving at the end of the play. Going to bring the physios back on. Actually, no more further attention as Pena is back to his feet. One more substitute is being recalled by Crown Legacy FC. As Man United 2 pattern away from their own end. Sesak, infield as we say, spinning as we say, left behind Neri. Being told now that it's Jamie Smith, the coach's son, who will come on to see things out. A very experienced defender in the USL League One with Greenville Triumph. 65 appearances over the last 4 seasons in the professional ranks. For the time being, though, it's Sesak. A sculpted ball up high, Neri! The goal was gaping and at his mercy, but he's taking it wide. This was a perfect pass from Sesak, who's really been starting to fashion himself a certain menace to Atlanta United 2's opposition in recent weeks, and especially in these late stages. Unable to draw level, though. All the way back to Hibbert. It's going to be a bouncer that he has to control. Off the thigh and away with the left foot. Not a lot of goalkeepers can play two-footed like that. It's not fruitful, though. Atlanta United 2. Odrago. Driving again. Long strides out of the back and a longer pass. Lasered out of touch. Right at here, though. And a chance maybe for the change. The referee will stop play. And it will be
a Crown Legacy substitution.
Jamie Smith coming on.
86th minute. Leaving the match, number 60, Andre.
The goal scorer and maybe the game winner, Andre Subotic. Will make a spot.
45, Jamie Smith.
So striker for center back. Clear sign of intent. And from a 4-4-2 to likely what will be a 5-back the rest of the way. Strong touches out of the back for Atlanta United 2. Cooper Sanchez. Slung wide, Sesak, bodies into the box now. Amos navigating, nodding away, diving. It looked like Jamie Smith, as the goalkeeper, was going to arrive at that ball. Crown Legacy FC doing this defensive work without their captain, Jack Neely, who came out of the game at halftime. Sentinel center back that's usually the heart of defense for Gary Dicker. We say Efren Morales. Amos conducting one in towards we say. Never gets there. There's another great defensive play from Daniel Moore to break it up. Singh hotly chasing Morales towards the corner. Bouncing header away, fumbled by Odrago. Wisse. Gabriel Wisse's gone down in a heap. It is a penalty. Odrago swung wildly at it. And in his attempt to get his balance back, took Wisei to ground with him. A lifeline for Atlanta United 2, who have been very good from the spot in much battle testing in recent weeks. Converted all 5 of their penalties in the shootout against Huntsville. And it looks like it belongs to Will Riley, at least to transfer the ball to the spot. And there it is, the captain, Armas, grabs the responsibility. George Marks in front of him. It has to happen for Atlanta United 2. Stoppage time, the only thing left between the finish line. A heart-stopping moment. Armas has been told that he needs to put the ball straight on the spot. Setting it as he likes, it's right on the edge. Goalkeeper Marks is on his line. Armas for Atlanta United 2, it's saved, the rebound, punctuated home, level again at 2-2. Javier Armas never drops his head in the face of a deficit, in the face of a missed and saved penalty. He drives home and gets his side even. The captain with no quit. Would be easy to lose your nerve after the goalkeeper saved a relatively tame penalty. But Armas was never daunted. And it's 2-2. It will be 8 minutes of stoppage time. And a swift foul. If there is, and no points, another moment of magic in these 8 minutes, it will be on to penalties for the 4th straight game for Atlanta United 2, and they will feel comfortable in those confines. Into the box, drifting back towards Hibbert. Atlanta United 2 have been in the shootout 5 times this year. And as mentioned, they've made a habit of winning that in the recent stages of their schedule. All told, in the shootout, the record is 2-3 for Atlanta United 2, but they are the far more experienced side in spot kicks. Maybe trying to see to it that it doesn't get there. The technical home team. Neary's gone down, not awarded the whistle. Singh stumbles with it. Morales takes the chance to pounce. Wisei, who won the penalty. Wisei in field. Not done away with. Wisei smacked out for a corner, and all of a sudden, Atlanta United 2 with their tails fully raised. Bodies into the box for a corner kick. Armas. Mazzaferro. Sal Mazzaferro's brought down. It's a goal kick. Atlanta United 2, not won a game very often in regular time over these last 6 months or so. Only the one this season. As they approach the box again, Chung Kui, the wide man. Wisei's in the middle. It wiggles through Sesak. Neary's flubbed it. A second chance. Sanchez! Neary saved twice. Neary again saved a third time and a fourth. How do you hold your nerve in the face of that, George Marks? Ouedraogo fell down in the face of the pressure. Neri couldn't supply a real strike. Sanchez could, off a deflection, a straight stop, and then another. Neri could have scored a hat trick on that single move. And it's a yellow card being shown to Efren Morales.
A yellow card has been issued to Atlanta United's
What a sequence of saves from George Marks. And on the back of that, building confidence, Crown Legacy FC have a set piece. Aaron John has provided it already, an assist once today from a dead ball. He provided the first goal. He provides here, well behind the intended target. Scooped up for a throw. A crushing tackle back into John. Singh and John. A slingshot. And Singh didn't get his head around in time enough to see the ball coming his way from John. Run and win. Finding the space. Pushing the opposition back. Sesak, we say, making the run and has the speed to get there in the channel. Arriving ahead of Ouedraogo. Sesak. Armas, first time, off the head of Neri. Again, another real chance. Sesak was the one who pushed the ball centrally. Armas, the no-looker, straight off the head of Neri, who found the blind spot. Slipped the marker of his man, Jamie Smith, but could not convert.
A yellow card has been issued to Atlanta United's bench in the 96th minute.
Steve Cook has been booked now. Atlanta United 2 manager. It looks like it's trending towards penalties. Having just seen one and saved one, George Marks made a highlight reel save after that to keep it level at 2-2. He will be confident heading towards those spot kicks. Right now placing one on the foot of Daniel Moore, who places it out of play. We say to take. Amas. Shuttled in for Efren Morales. Mezzafero. And Amas, everybody back behind the ball for Crown Legacy. Wide for Sesak. Teaming at the edge of the box. The five stripes of Atlanta United 2. Jungkui. Sneaking away from his marker. Ball into the box, punched away. Off the head of Amas. Off the chest of Singh. And prodded away by Daniel Moore. Efren Morales didn't check the rearview mirror. He's lost it out to Singh. Breaking ahead, Mendoza and Singh. And snatched back, a pinching tackle from Morales, who's a little bit casual getting rid of the ball. This is all kinds of chaos. Amas navigating. We say. Lassoing in on the left. We say. Belted away by Ouedraogo. And this is just maybe to alleviate some of the tension and allow Crown Legacy FC to get their nerve back. 20 seconds from the end of what was given. Every twist and turn you can imagine tonight. 2-2. Atlanta had the lead, they lost it. Crown Legacy FC had the lead, then they lost it. And it feels like the only right conclusion would be penalty kicks. And that is where we go. 12 yards will be the place. This one is decided. 4 consecutive draws now for Atlanta United 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
An extra
and
point to
stay
play
in your
for.
seats. With the match level, the two teams will now move to a penalty shootout. The winner of the shootout
We step
will
aside.
earn
The
an
thrilling
additional
conclusion
point.
is on the other end. 2-2 after 90 minutes and then some between Atlanta United 2 and Crown Legacy FC. It's penalties coming up.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
At the end of regulation, since the teams are tied on the scoreboard, the match will extend to a shootout, with each team having 5 attempts. If the teams are tied after 5 attempts, they will go to sudden death. The shootout winner will receive an extra point in the regular season standings.
So here is the penalty setup. A regulation win is worth 3 points, which we all know. 2 points for the winner of this shootout. Each team has secured a point for their efforts to get to this stage. Here is how we arrived at this particular threshold between Crown Legacy FC and Atlanta United 2. It was starting early for Atlanta United 2. Everything looking good for them. As Sesak would take this down, play wide for Javier Armas, who would have more to do in this game, but for now, plays the role of provider. It would be Cayman Togashe swooping in for the advantage. It was a clever finish from him there, but given right back later on in the half. Crown Legacy FC, by way of Aaron John, would get back level at 1-1. Spotting this one into the back of the net, Aaron John, and celebrating for the cameras. 1-1, and then on into the second half, Aaron John would force one into the box and play one off the head of Subotic. Lead lying with Crown Legacy FC as they wear the crown in this particular moment. Wise, though, Gabriel Wise winning the penalty off of Odrago. Although Javier Armas would have plenty of time to think about it, including a couple of heart-pounding seconds after an initial save, he would get his team back eye-to-eye with their opposition and put themselves in a place where they can get something extra from this game, which was supposed to be a home match for them. They've faced the adversity of having to come on the road to play this one. It still is a home match in terms of the scheduling. Aaron John, the captain, will take first for Crown Legacy FC after grabbing the armband off Jack Neely, who converted a pair of penalties for his 2 professional goals, the first of his career, in the last game against Inter Miami 2. Neely having to check out of the game at halftime. The bad news for Crown Legacy FC is that Atlanta United 2 have been in penalties in each of the last 3 games they played prior to this, and in 2 of those shootouts they converted all 5. If there is any solace for them on the season, Atlanta United 2, now in their 6th shootout of the year, have only won 2 of those 3. 2 of those 5, I should say. So it will be Aaron John ahead of Jaden Hibbert to take first. He's probably seen more penalties than any player in the league this year. Hibbert saved the first in the last game against Huntsville. Can he do it again here? Aaron John, a slow and plodding run up and with much ease and delight slices one into side netting to make it 1-0 for Crown Legacy. This is about as simple as it gets from the spot. Javier Armas takes responsibility. having already once seen the man he sees now. It was his penalty and rebounded effort that made it 2-2. The captain does not miss penalties. It was not the best efforts that got saved initially by George Marks in regular time. It's a standoff in the town square to start things off. Armas gets his revenge. That's as close to perfect as you can come from the spot. Upper 90, and not a bead of sweat in doing so. It's Brian Romero who's tabbed to take the next one for Crown Legacy FC. Romero, who came on into this game as a substitute, a traditional starter. Hibbert went early, and it sneaks underneath him. It's almost as if Romero changed the angle the last second after seeing the goalkeeper go. You're never going to, by choice, put a penalty on the ground in the middle like that. And it falls to Gabriel Wise. Wise, who's scored twice in the last 3 games. The 17-year-old starting to really make waves in this Atlanta United 2 team. Measures the moment and sets the ball exactly as he desires. Wise won the penalty to get it even at 2-2. Deadened by George Marks, who just absorbs a tame effort from the teenager. Catching practice. And Crown Legacy FC have the edge in the shootout. And it belongs now to Jamie Smith, the most senior player in the squad for Crown Legacy FC at 27 years of age. Ahead of Jaden Hibbert, trying to confirm the advantage. Smith strikes clean and true. And has a few choice words for the goalkeeper. Just crashed that straight down the middle. Has confirmed a penalty take as really can exist in the modern game. And it's to Sal Mazzaferro to strike back and keep his side within touching distance. Goalkeeper George Marks examining all the predetermined study plans on the water bottle. Sal Mazzaferro, who scored last game for Atlanta United 2 in the regular course of play, must score here. Mazzaferro did score in the last shootout against Huntsville. On that night, he shot second. On this one, he shoots third. Sal Mazzaferro, strong and stiff. Atlanta United 2, still within a shout. And it's the youngster. It appears it will be Adrian Mendoza claiming the ball, only in his second appearance of the year. A couple keepy ups for strengthening of the resolve. Trying to make light of a serious moment and a big breath. It's going to be a short run up for Mendoza. Mendoza! And you see what it means to him. On to encourage the goalkeeper. As that is blasted in with conviction. And it's right there for Crown Legacy FC. Rodrigo Neri, who had a couple of chances to maybe win the thing in regular time. More often than not, the goalkeeper has guessed correctly for Crown Legacy FC. Neri has to score. And the week he turned 20, Rodrigo Neri, easy. Not a single spike of the heart rate. And now the obligation is that of Jaden Hibbert to come good with a save as Neri sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, somersaulting the opposite direction of his strike. It's Dylan Singh now. An unblinking stare from Jaden Hibbert. He's found a way to come up with the big save in several of these shootout victories over the last 3 games. Ahead of Dylan Singh, and his song is Victorious. A rifle into the caress of the twine and an extra point for Crown Legacy FC. Dylan Singh sees to it. The man of the match will be one of many key performers for Crown Legacy FC, but really nobody else it really could be other than George Marks. And he is the man of the match. A pair of penalty saves and a triple save at the end of regulation to see his side on into victory. This was the moment that captured all attention. 1 save, 2 saves, 3 saves, and a 4th. That last one was the easiest. And then a save in the shootout, taking one off of Weesay and getting his side to the finish line first. What a game. Never disappointing in this league. 2-2 at the end of 90, at the end of the shootout. And it's Crown Legacy FC who come away winners 4-5 from the spot. Again, our final score is 2-2 on the night, and for our entire splendid crew, we set to step out. And again, for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I've been Peyton Geller. Once again, our final score at the end of this evening is 2-2. What a ride it was. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Folks, for again, entire crew, we step aside. Good night. Final score is 2-2.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.